talking to all the key players here at Flame 2018. I have Andrew Walker with me now from Cheniere Energy. Andrew, thank you very much for your time today. Very busy. A lot of people want to talk to you and want to talk to you about LNG. So, state of the market. Are you very happy this year or extremely happy?
We're very happy. Cheniere, we are developing US export capacity. We are constructing 7 trains in the US. We have 4 operational, 3 under construction. And we have announced a couple of deals earlier this year. A couple of deals, one to PetroChina and one to Trafigura, a trading house. So we're feeling pretty pleased that we're making progress, the market's picking up, that we're in a place where we can kind of move the model forward, think about the sanction of the next train.
Let's talk though about those deals and how long the contract lengths are maybe, and whether they're the deals you wanted to do, because there is or has been talk for the last couple of years about this glut of LNG. We may not have seen it, but there's certainly a lot there. So are they the sort of deals that you wanted?
Yeah, they're deals that we were prepared to do. So yes, you could always do a better deal, but at the end of the day, those are deals that we were quite happy to do. We came to, a negotiated solution with the buyers. So hopefully it's a deal that works for both sides. That's the key challenge, in the industry, is to give your buyers what they want and put yourself in a position where you kind of have something that works for you. For us, they're long-term deals. There's been a lot of talk about long-term deals going out of fashion. Everything's going to be short-term. They're long-term deals. They're 15, 20 plus years.
And you would class 15 years as a long-term deal now?
Yes, I think anything 15 years or longer really is still a long-term deal. The industry has transacted deals up to 25 years in the past, but 15 to 25 years is still a long-term deal. There's a lot of people saying, the industry focuses now into kind of shorter-term deals, 1, 2 years, 5 years, 5 to 10 years. In our experience, buyers are looking for a mix of terms. They're looking to transact not only on the short term, the mid-term, but also the long term, and kind of have a much more balanced approach to volume and term these days. But yeah, we're still seeing long-term deals in the marketplace. We've still been able to transact long-term deals.
So where's the next bulk of it going, do you think?
We are seeing interest from the marketplace in terms of the next deals. I obviously can't tell you where that is, who we're talking to. But I think the market this year seems more buoyant than when we spoke last year. Obviously oil price is picking up. We're seeing some momentum in terms of we've announced some deals already. We're seeing interest in terms of negotiations for future purchases. So yeah, I think the market seems more buoyant now than when we spoke this time last year.
Yeah, did you see that coming?
Yeah, perhaps I'm just an optimist, but yes, we as a company have been saying for a while that the industry fundamentally needs to think about the emerging supply gap post 2020, 2021, 2022. Needs to think about transacting gas to make sure that there's not a shortage in the future. So yes, we have talked to buyers who are aware of that and who have been thinking about buying. So yes, we are believers that we have not seen the last LNG deal done, and that there will be a flow of future deals.
But where would the market be, and where do you think we would be you would be if there hadn't been that demand from China?
You're talking about the demand for China this year, or for future volumes?
Well, we'll certainly talk about it for this year, the year just gone, because that would be a very different picture now. Well,
we saw a large growth in the Chinese demand over the course of last year as they put in place clean air policies. The Chinese market grew by around about 12 million tonnes year on year, which for the LNG industry is a very large growth. That clearly helped from the demand side of the industry at a time that new supply was coming on. A lot of people were worried. When we spoke last year, I remember we had the discussion about potential for oversupply. Was there too much supply coming on? Cheniere has always been a believer that demand will respond, so we have been believers that availability of supply will mean that will facilitate demand somewhere. So whether that's China, whether it's elsewhere, we were believers that the market would respond. China, it's a big gas market, big growing market, just in terms of its economics. So are we surprised that it's grown quite so much? Perhaps not as surprised as some others, some other observers.
Oh, but it's easier to say that now.
Well, it is, but we've been believers in China for a while. We opened a Chinese office, an office in China last year for Cheniere, to kind of show our commitment to moving forward, growing our business with that marketplace. So that's one example of where we were believers in China and have committed to people on the ground, as it were.
Dare I ask how long that lease is on that building in China?
I don't know, so I think it's a long lease. We have just signed long-term contracts with them. We are, we're looking forward to doing business with China for a long time. The existing contracts, future contracts.
Do you think the US can maintain its position as its strongest LNG exporter? Is it going to keep that position, do you think?
Well, the US is kind of starting down its journey as an LNG exporter. So we exported our first cargo 2.25 years ago now. And it's now had 2 years of kind of exports. I think last year it exported around about 12 million tonnes, but it's growing to become a 70 million tonne exporter just based on what's under construction, and that will make it the third largest exporter. But I think our belief is that as we move beyond that capacity in 2020, it will become the world's largest exporter, could potentially become the world's largest exporter based on some forecasts. And we're a believer that there will be continued contracts, continued deals that will facilitate exports and continued growth. We at Cheniere are kind of prepared to help that. We are ready to expand our projects and continue to put trains in place to meet global demand for US LNG exports.
Okay, so you mentioned what we were talking about last year. What are we going to be talking about next year then?
Hopefully more deals, more trains, continued growth of Cheniere. I think we will be talking about some other things as well. The market's starting to pick up. Certainly there's a much more optimistic feel to the marketplace now, and I think hopefully that will continue to build some momentum. We will see more deals across the industry. We'll see new emerging importers. We'll see some new exporters perhaps, and we'll see continued growth of the US export model, including from ourselves at Cheniere.
Thank you very much. We look forward to it next year. Andrew,
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you.